What's up, guys? Welcome into NFL Weekly here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We are so excited about the games from this weekend. We got the divisional round of playoff football coming up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Go Vikings, let's win this game.
I don't think they do it to this song.
It sounds way better when they do it.
It looks way more badass during the game. We all thought
With like a million people, fans. Yeah.
We all thought the Vikings fight song was a good idea to intro this song, but it just doesn't. It's not really giving us the fight that it's entailing.
Shout out to the Vikings, man.
Hey! There it is. Congratulations, Vikings. That was a sick game. That's going to be the first game that we talk about tonight. But we're headed into the breakdown of divisional round of NFL playoff football. Thanks for joining us. We got a full panel tonight. Josh is back.
I'm back.
What's up?
How are you?
My name is Jenna. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere. And Josh, they probably forget where to find you. It's been so long. So please inform everybody all about your social media.
My name is Joshua Rodrguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. If you follow me, all I do is talk sports, so I don't think they would have forgot about me if they followed me, to be honest with you, because I just don't stop talking about sports. I really don't.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN, except for my Snapchat where I had a 3D Bitmoji dancing to the Philadelphia Eagles.
If you guys haven't found out he's an Eagle fan, you see the jersey. He's proud. He's very proud of his. Yeah.
I have a lot to be proud about.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve. Hopefully that'll be our reaction next week.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm with you. Anyway, firstly, shout out to our live chat that's already popping. So
nice.
We'll get you guys involved in our show.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you,
DeAnjilo. You can hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV or on Instagram at DeAnjilo.
All right, let's do this. We were just talking before we went live about how good these games were this weekend. And if I learned anything this weekend, it was probably that I don't know anything about football. Because every game, every outcome I thought was going to happen, I was dead wrong. I thought the Saints were going to win, and I had the Rams and the Steelers reaming through their teams, and that clearly was not the case here. So let's go through. Let's do a little roundup. Last week we did your favorite game of the weekend. Let's instead do your favorite Steelers touchdown because there were so many amazing ones. So if you can recall, out of the 5 Ben Roethlisberger touchdowns, if you have a favorite one, because they were all incredible.
Antonio Brown won on 4th down. That was probably my favorite one. But, I mean, the Jaguars won, so it's kind of weird they were just like...
Yeah.
But like, it was a shootout game. Like,
yeah.
All right.
It was coming down to whatever team had the ball in their hand last. That was
a
a fight fighting the clock, really.
I'm going with the Antonio Brown 4th and 5.
there were 2 Antonio Browns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right? And then I'm going with the first one, because both of them looked very similar in the sense that he was covered perfectly. Like, I remember watching it and going like, well, but then what else can you do?
Nothing.
Like, dude, you can realize he's about to catch the ball and have a touchdown and hit him.
Yeah.
Get a penalty and hope you stop him at 1st and goal. Like that's all. It's binary. There's two choices. Choices.
Two
chassis.
If anyone was in doubt on who was better between Antonio Brown and Julio Jones, Antonio Brown's a baller. Like he just steps up, man. I mean, period. I know there's a lot of variables until it happens with those balls, but Antonio Brown gets it done.
I still might take Julio.
I mean,
I don't
in
see
this
why. For what?
Who won? I mean, they both lost, but who won the receiver competition?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown this weekend. I mean,
he has
Julio
that clutch
dropped
factor
that
I don't
pass.
think Julio has.
He has what?
I feel like Antonio has a bit of that clutch factor that
So does Julio,
doesn't.
though.
Not this weekend.
Listen, I mean, that's one. You're talking one play. I mean, he arguably made the biggest catch in Falcons history in the Super Bowl last year. If it wasn't for Kyle Shanahan,
It would if they won.
Yeah,
But did they win that game?
If you look at Julio Jones' playoff stats, they're unreal. Like they're unbelievable. Like 80% of the time he's thrown to, he catches the ball. He has like 8 touchdowns. He's
okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not lying. Julio's a great receiver, but if I had to personally pick right now, from what I'm seeing, Antonio Brown.
I can't debate that. I mean, there's people saying he's the best receiver ever right now.
The Jones-Brown argument could definitely be probably like an hour show in
Yeah,
itself.
we could
So
go
let's
there.
keep it rolling.
That's not what we're here
So
for.
my answer to the question is all of them. I love it.
Oh, really? Okay, just everything Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I had Ben's backward lateral to Le'Veon Bell for the touchdown. Because
Respect.
Ben starts running, looks around, I don't want to do this. I don't want to
love
run. I see
At no point did he want to run. Even while he was running,
exactly.
he was like, I don't
He's
wanna.
looking around for any saving grace. He's like, guys, don't make me do this. Ben looking for any option. Lateral to Le'Veon Bell. Ends up getting a touchdown out of it. I thought that was incredible, and that was like a jaw-dropping moment.
Is that more impressive than the Mariota touchdown to himself?
No, not more
Okay.
impressive. I think the self-touchdown comes.
Still
it's in
wins.
its own field.
Well, yeah.
Entirely. Let's see your MVP from the weekend. Best player from any game.
Best player, MVP, most valuable player. We're gonna go with.
That's what it means, Josh. MVP.
We got a lot of good competition this weekend for that.
I actually have it.
Go ahead.
Jake Elliott.
Really?
And
he
that's-
missed an extra point.
I know.
But he won the
That's
game.
how he won the game. He put the
He made
majority
up
of the
for
point.
it.
That
Like,
clutch factor, man.
like
Tell
that
you,
clutch
he's
factor.
clutch.
Jake Elliott is nearsighted. I'm diagnosing him right now. He needs glasses or something. He's better the further from the goalpost you put him.
Okay.
Apparently, you're right. You're right. I can't even disagree.
Put him close to the
You
goalpost.
have
He
the
struggles.
facts. Your argument is not wrong.
I'm going Stephon Diggs. Game-winning touchdown. Biggest play of the season.
This is clutch as clutch
Yeah.
gets.
Yeah. I would say Case Keenum, but I mean, I give that more to Diggs than Case.
Or the
Case
safety who
Keenum
doesn't
just
know how
threw
to
it up.
tackle.
And Case had a good game. He played well. He didn't play.
I gotta say, that's gotta be
Marcus
the
Williams,
longest plane
LVP.
ride back ever for number 43 of the
Tom
Saints.
Brady.
Our
Brady.
engineer
Tom
is making it
Brady.
very
It's
clear.
too easy,
They played the
Steven.
Titans. They
And
played a
that's
freaking
easy.
like college
easy.
football team.
And their run game was solid, but we'll get into that.
I gotta give the Jaguars some love. I gotta give the Jaguars offense some love. Leonard Fournette balled out.
There you go.
He
He had like
balled out.
three touchdowns.
Yeah, so
All right.
they dropped 45 points, man.
Yeah.
That's
That is-
incredible.
I mean, we do have to throw some shade, and well, that's not the game we're talking about, but we do have to throw some shade at the Jaguars defense, and we'll do that when we're there.
Should definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
We will get to that. I'm with you, DeAnjilo. I did have Leonard Fournette as well for the 3 touchdowns. Also, run game was on fire. Steelers couldn't stop it, couldn't do anything about it. And also, dude was injured, went in at halftime,
Hello?
didn't think he was going to come back in for the second half, comes in and scores a touchdown in that second half. I also have, shout out Steve, shout out Eagles, I have Fletcher Cox as being a possible MVP because he was all over that
He was.
Atlanta run game, like stopping everything and applying so much pressure to Matt Ryan. Like, he was a huge part to your guys' defensive line.
Our defense won that game.
Yeah, seriously.
Definitely. No doubt about it.
All right, so let's get into it then. We're going to start with this last game that just went off. Stephon Diggs coming in hot with that walk-off touchdown. It was the first one in NFL postseason history for a touchdown to be scored as the clock is expiring. Saints versus Vikings. Were you guys surprised by this?
I was
by the
surprised.
outcome.
I mean, I had the Vikings winning. I had the Vikings winning.
You did?
I had the Vikings winning the Super Bowl. Just throwing it out there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And this was before everything. So,
true.
yes, but I am surprised how easy it was for the Saints to score on the Vikings in the second half. I mean, 17-0 going into the second half. That was a beautiful play.
Oh, this play.
Beautiful.
And the way the Vikings defense plays, I mean, they're arguably the best defense in the league. Out them in Jacksonville. It was weird seeing the 2 best defenses today really not show up. I mean, the Vikings defense did show up in the first half, but it was weird seeing them scored upon like that in the second half, and all the momentum was going towards New Orleans. I thought the game was over once the Lutz hit that field goal.
Yep. And we also have another momentum-changing play when the
blocked
Saints
field goal.
blocked the punt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michael Thomas brought that back in for a touchdown, which you have the highlights that as well, which we will play.
And then, granted, the Saints got the ball here in good field position.
Everything was
but
coming
like,
up
if
Saints
you,
at this point.
If you're a great defense, like I think the Vikings are, you hold them to a field goal, maybe even force a punt. You don't give them too much yardage. So this was a weird day.
Yeah.
It was a weird day.
Well, that's the problem with shootout games, is that you can't help but be like, oh, well, both their defenses were garbage because it was a shootout.
But Minnesota's defense was not garbage at all. To be able to
not in the
hold the
first half.
Saints' offense to 0
0 points,
points.
yeah.
I have a fun stat time.
I think I know what stat you want. You say it. You say it.
61 straight games. Is that the Saints were on a 61-game streak of no shutouts in the first half until this game. And this is postseason, and it's the Saints'
The
run game, pass game. They got it all.
The Vikings defense did an excellent job, and I was I think it's just a game of adjustments. I feel like if the offense showed out in the first half, then the defense would have. I think we just had some really good coaches in this game that were able to adjust, and at some point, these offenses were going to get an opportunity and do something. I do think the Vikings still played a very excellent game, but that's a great Saints offense. So to hold them to that was like a big accomplishment. But yeah.
No, I agree. And Michael Thomas showed out, which was really cool. He's one of the most underrated receivers to me in the league. He doesn't really get talked about too much unless you're talking about fantasy football.
Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
Really?
Unless you're talking fantasy
ball.
football.
I think
no one
everybody
knows.
knows.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
get in the
think
cut
people
for
are
Michael
pretty
Thomas.
big on him.
But he's not. I think he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. But
But
he had 2 touchdowns. I think he's the reason why they came back. I mean, having Xavier Rhodes on you all game, that's not easy to even catch the ball. I mean, he shut down Odell Beckham last year. I'm a Giants fan. He shut down one of the best receivers in the league. He consistently shuts down the best receivers in the league. And for him to do what he did, I think that's great. I mean, the Vikings pretty much shut down Alvin Kamara with the exception of that go-ahead touchdown. I mean, Kamara didn't do much. Ingram didn't do much, so...
But it's funny, DeAnjilo, you brought up coaching in this game because Sean Payton was getting a little bit of flack for challenging the 2 challenges that he
Had some
burned, kind of
blunders, had some
burned and
blunders,
timed
for
out
sure.
there. And there were some funny tweets. Me and Josh were talking about how Twitter is the best during live sports,
football
and
Twitter.
football Twitter is amazing. So 2 of my favorite tweets from this, one is Mike Tomlin is saying, "Boy, I feel like I just coached the worst 2 minutes in playoff history," and then Sean Payton says, "Hold my hurricane," which is like really messed up but really funny at the same time. And also on the Stephon Diggs touchdown, we have somebody said Monte Teo's girlfriend on the coverage there.
Wow!
Yeah, Monte Teo tweets, are those ever going to get old, like those jokes?
That's the first time
I
I've
mean,
heard
the
that in a while.
reference is gonna get old.
Yeah.
I don't know. If
No,
it's
it's good.
used
I'm
like
saying-
that,
It's also good
that
since he
was
was on the
perfectly
field.
executed.
Yeah,
Like,
on that
I don't
game.
know if
Yeah.
they're going to be that good. They might not get old to me.
I distinctly remember I worked at a Best Buy during the NFL draft where they drafted Monte Teo. And they were just like, it was just straight up coverage about him, nothing about the story. The story had already broke, and I was in a Best Buy break room while they were just talking about it, and they were just showing clips, and I was like, wow, offenses never see him coming.
No.
Didn't.
There it
And
is.
nobody got it. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah, but the 2 challenges by Sean Payton. I mean, the first one I could kind of see it's a deep pass, so you want to keep him out of field goal range because it makes it a 2-possession game. But I mean, you have coaches who are reviewing it for you. You know, you wait.
Yeah.
You can wait. It takes maybe like 20 seconds for the replay to be shown, but that's enough time before the Vikings can get to the line and snap the ball. And then the second one to me was just, I don't know, desperation.
I think there were bad challenges, but they're not why they lost the game.
No,
So that's why I wouldn't be critical of Sean Payton.
Yeah.
The Mike Tomlin one is a little bit of a different
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, this game was so good, though. So exciting. The fans at the end, we saw Case Keenum leading the skull
pretty
chant.
badass.
And
Yeah.
can you believe now? So Case Keenum, 3rd-string quarterback, his story this entire season has been amazing. Now he's been the starting quarterback and led them to the playoffs, winning divisional round.
Yeah.
First time that a team that's hosting the Super Bowl, Minnesota, has won past the wild card round in the postseason.
Wow.
So that's interesting.
I want to get I want to get the progression correct because it is Eagles related, but it's also Vikings related.
About them both playing for the Rams, the Rams at one point,
It's
Foles and
specifically-
Keenum.
Yeah, well, it's specifically. I'm going to pull up the tweet. There it goes. Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt, which prompts the Vikings to acquire Sam Bradford, which allows the Eagles to start Carson Wentz, who gets hurt and whose replacement, Nick Foles, is going to play for the NFC title next week against Case Keenum, who's starting because Bradford, who was in for Teddy Bridgewater, got hurt.
It's weird how the universe
What you're saying
works.
is Jeff Fisher's an excellent guy picking quarterbacks.
He picked
That's what I heard.
3
Yeah.
excellent.
He picks really great quarterbacks, and once he gets them, he doesn't know what to do with them, and then they go on to other teams and make the postseason. So thanks, Jeff Fisher, kind of.
So Jeff
The
Fisher
rest
should be
of the
saying you're
league is
welcome.
thanking you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Again, he's always finding his way to like take responsibility for things. Remember we were saying the
Yeah,
other
that was
week?
funny.
All right, so we do have to move on, even though this was probably the best game. I don't know. Jaguars
definitely
Steelers is up there, but we're gonna give Steve some time to take the floor
Is that-
because the Eagles beat the Falcons,
game
which
wasn't the best.
I was shocked by. No, this one wasn't. Definitely not the best game because
okay.
the outcome alone. But
Well, take your hatred of the Philadelphia Eagles out of the
Why would I do
equation.
that?
you just that's
What?
impossible. That will never happen.
But like, I want to point out up top that this was a sloppy on-field presentation. On the Rams, on the Eagles, on the
Falcons.
officiating.
He doesn't even
Sorry,
remember who his
the
team
things
played.
that's how sloppy it was. I'm getting sloppy as a host. On the Falcons,
It was the bird game.
on
Some sort of
on
bird.
the Falcons, on the Eagles, on the officiating. The officiating was atrocious in this game.
Worse than this Saints Vikings game.
Yes, it was way worse. But you gotta the Philadelphia defense won this game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They were like of
balled
all the
out.
teams, of all the versions of the team that didn't show up, the Philadelphia defense didn't show up the least.
I mean, like, the
they
final
balled out.
score
They
was
won. They won.
15-10.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
they
obviously
won.
wasn't an offensive game.
Definitely.
No, and even when the Falcons scored, they only scored because they had a turnover in Eagles territory off of that punt. So it wasn't like the Eagles defense gave him anything. And then to have that stop 4th and goal, that was huge. The ball going through Julio's hands. Even if Julio would have caught it, though, he would have been out of bounds.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have mattered. I was worried about the Eagles because I didn't think they would find a way to score points, and they
Right.
actually didn't.
They didn't have to.
I was down on
they said
Foles.
But
And-
then also, like, this Foles drive, I was speaking with someone who's also an Eagles fan I graduated college with. He's on the Box Office Breakdown show at this very moment. And he was talking to me.
Steve, that's competition.
Who'd you graduate
Please
with?
keep our viewers with us.
Sorry.
Even though we love our other shows.
Who'd
Just
you
kidding.
graduate? Who'd you graduate with?
Thanks. We'll talk.
Okay.
Football, Eagles, come
Focus.
on.
We're back. But he was just talking about, like, I haven't seen Nick Foles find a drive like that since Chip Kelly.
Well, let's see Nick Foles almost score this touchdown. We have the highlight of Nick Foles recovering a fumble, which I thought was just a great effort, hustle play by him. And even though I wanted the Eagles to lose, I was kind of like, oh, okay, Nick Foles. I mean, great job. Clearly he was down, but then they ended up getting the 4th down touchdown.
Yeah,
with
And
Lashad
shout out to them
Blunt.
for actually going for it
Right.
on 4th down because
Yeah.
they could have either said, you know what, we didn't get it here.
take
Let's
a
take the
field goal.
points. Let's
Yeah.
tie the game up, and they went for it. I mean, I don't think we had the video, but it was an amazing block. I think the guard pulled.
Oh, the
Yes.
Blunt?
It was
Oh, yeah.
That comes up
Oh,
next.
the
Yeah,
Blunt.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
right
right up
on.
in the whole
Yeah.
in the whole sequence.
I mean-
But just there was a lot of
Oh, yeah,
bumbling
no,
and
it's very
fumbling and working out like that, and then we get this amazing block on the outside. They're talking a lot about Nick Foles and his pass rate and how good he is. He didn't throw any touchdowns.
Well, I gave you guys my little stay woke via text message this weekend. I think that this is the ghost of 2013 Nick Foles, and he has created this situation for himself. So after taking the Eagles to the playoffs and winning the NFC East in 2013, he's traded to the Rams. Why do you think that the injury of Carson Wentz was against the Rams? The year Carson Wentz wins the division and
woke.
goes to the playoffs,
woke.
he gets injured. So now bringing Nick Foles back to the playoffs with the Eagles. It is the ghost of Nick Foles, and he is getting a second chance.
we have a-
Coincidence? I think
Do we
not.
have a tinfoil
people.
hat for Jen?
Do we have a-
Do we have a tinfoil hat?
It's-
Where's it
That's
at?
so
We've,
Raven, actually. That was
we were
just a
supposed to review these
That's
games, and we turned into a
so
conspiracy show.
Sports show.
Although,
This is the ghost of Nick Foles.
although I do want to point out that there seems to be a typical arc for a televised playoff game, which is the better team is winning, and then something happens where it gets close and they might not win, and then they win anyway. that seems that like
That's just
historically.
football.
Oh, but no, like over the last 10 years, that seems to happen a lot in playoff games, and I'm not saying there's a fix because I don't know, but there's data behind it that it's like with that Steelers game, where you're like, how is that still going down? Like, how is this still a football game? What is even happening?
It was incredible,
I mean,
I'll tell you
yeah,
that. It was
more
great football.
That's more conspiracy talk, but like when
Yeah,
it
no,
comes to
we're in the conspiracy portion
Can we
of
just,
the.
this
I know-
is not
I know
NFL
we'll go down a
Weekly.
tangent
This is
if we
NFL
do that.
Wokely.
Well,
I'm such
My
a dad.
goodness.
Okay, DeAnjilo, keep
Look,
talking.
I'm
Take
trying
it
to
away
change the
from me.
subject.
Take it away from me.
No, but when it comes to Nick Foles, like people are going to talk about him a lot this week. All he did was just not mess the game up.
Thank you.
And I don't, you know what I mean?
I-
Yeah. And I think the Vikings winning is a great situation for the Eagles in the standpoint that if there was a game where they needed to compete offensively, I don't think they would win the game. The Saints are the team that would have made you compete offensively, in my opinion. I don't think the Vikings are going to explode on you offensively like how the Saints can. So I think the Vikings winning is very beneficial to the game for the Eagles.
But the Vikings
really good
offense
point.
to me
No,
is
I agree.
extremely.
Facts.
They're underrated, man. I mean, they have two receivers who can ball out, like Thielen and Diggs can ball. Kyle Rudolph is no joke. Their running game is pretty good. They're not.
rated.
They're
They were
not
a 2 seed.
slouches. Yeah, they're not slouches. And I agree. I agree with your general point. I agree with, but I still think they're going to need to score some points. They're going to need to score more than 15 points. They're going to have to put up at least maybe 20 something. I don't want to get into
that's
predictions
gonna be a
here.
slugfest,
I get it
man.
that
That's gonna be low
Foles-
scoring defensive game.
Yeah,
Both
like,
of those defenses.
They're
are
lucky
really
it's in
good.
Philly. Let's just leave it at that.
I mean,
yeah.
the
Philly
only-
is incredibly lucky it's in
Yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only touchdown was a rushing touchdown, so I get what you're saying. But honestly, I was impressed by the way Nick Foles played in this game. I think he was finding so many different receivers, just like Carson Wentz would.
Nick
And he's-
Foles did not throw the ball over like 10. I wish we had the stat. He didn't
Well,
throw the
I
ball
can pull
above
up the
10,
stat.
over 10 yards much
the
the whole game, except for like that one drive to get the field goal. He didn't throw the ball down the field at all.
But I think also
at
just
all.
the confidence he had. You know, like he didn't seem
I
shaken
hope
up.
you have confidence when you're throwing 3 yards down the field. I don't let.
And you have
This could be a nerve-wracking
and
situation,
you have 4
DeAnjilo.
different running backs to hand the ball to if it
Yeah,
doesn't
like-
work.
I played
It's like-
D3 women's college lacrosse, and no one came to my games but my mom, and I was still nervous. Okay,
I
he's
understand.
he's on the big screen.
All right, you're right. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I think the ghost of Nick Foles was also haunting our studio because we lost power for a bit. He was very upset that I caught on to him. So I'll try not to bring it up again. I'm sorry.
Jenna, stop.
I know. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Don't talk about it. It's too much already. But we're going to wrap up on the Eagles-Falcons game right now with the immaculate kneeception. We can't talk about this game without looking at and watching the Torrey Smith catch after this ridiculous should have been interception off of the defensive back's knee on the Falcons. So let's bring this up. I could watch this on repeat because it's hysterical.
Sorry, what clip is this? I don't have anything open because everything closed.
This is Torrey Smith catching the ball after the deflection of Kyan O'Neal.
Cool, got it. Give
The
me one sec.
immaculate kneeception.
I mean, we're kind of joking around about it, but I mean, I was just talking to Steven and DeAnjilo, and I was talking to everybody.
You were sitting right here.
Apparently, I wasn't a part of this
during the
conversation.
blackout. But yeah, this changed the game. I mean, this honestly, if this is intercepted, who knows where they return it? Maybe the Falcons get a field goal before half. I mean, it's kind of funny to joke about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, you could make the case that the Eagles don't come back and win this game.
Huge. You got the
Oh,
field
this
goal
is-
there.
Yeah.
A huge there were 2 huge turning points in this game. The first
Yeah.
one
Here you go.
was a second left in the first half.
Yeah.
Throw out of bounds. We have just enough time for a Jake Elliott field goal, and then
Yeah.
there's this.
Like Nick Foles.
A horrible throw.
Because
That's the perfect sound effect for that.
because minus over jumping a ball, which happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Like your job as a cornerback isn't to catch the ball.
It looks
Your job is to
cartoonish
Yeah, at least
almost.
bat it down.
I mean,
Like,
even
what
if
the
he
hell
drops
was
it,
that?
even if he just drops it and then it's 3rd and 8, I mean, the Eagles maybe don't score and it's 10-6 instead of 3rd, whatever it is. I mean,
The way that shot off,
But,
almost 10 yards
It's hit his
from
knee
bouncing
perfectly,
off his
though.
knee,
Right.
right?
But
Crazy.
I also liken this to a similar type of demoralizing than that Antonio Brown catch. Whereas with the Antonio Brown catch, it's God, they're just balling out of control.
Right.
Whereas this, it's
That was his best throw of
literally,
the game.
yeah, literally, what can we?
No. The next play where Alshon Jeffrey was
Yes.
set field goal. That was Nick Foles' best throw of the game.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. And it's disheartening in a sense of there's literally nothing we can do.
Yeah.
And they're not even balling out of control.
right.
Yeah.
It'll just bounce off my knee, and they'll still catch it, and they'll still move forward. And what are we even doing?
Pretty impressive play call by Doug Peterson there. I like him taking the risk
To
on
aim.
that one. You know what? Just Nick, try it. We're feeling confident in you. Let's get it done.
But at a certain point, you just look at plays like that, and the Eagles of the past, similar great Eagles teams have had similar plays like this. There was one play, I want to say the 04 team, in the regular season where it was literally a fumble at the 2-yard line into someone else's hands, and they run it in for a touchdown. These things happen sometimes.
Yep, sports.
Sports, but sometimes
Hashtag sports.
what's meant to be is meant to be, and it comes off someone's knee. Yes.
Oh, he got it in.
Nice.
Got that pun in.
Third dad joke of the day.
All right,
Good
so
job, guys. We're
that's
killing
where
it.
we really are. Eagles get away with this, 15-10. They're taking on the Vikes in Philly. We'll get to our predictions in a bit, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna get to the Titans-Pats game. We're gonna talk about this for 30 seconds.
Patriots are really good. Titans are really bad. Next.
Well, let's give Mariota a little bit of credit and love. His first postseason appearance, and he has this very nice Corey Davis touchdown. Honestly, this was a perfectly thrown pass by Mariota.
Oh, it's the first drive?
This is the first touchdown of the game, which woke up the beast. We're going to fire it up. Corey Davis, one-handed touchdown. And like you said, maybe they just shouldn't have scored a touchdown.
Kick a field goal here. Make it interesting. Don't wake them up. Don't wake up the sleeping giant like that.
Because all the Pats did after this was say, okay, yeah, I guess we have to start scoring now. And they started and they didn't stop.
Yeah. Corey Davis is actually a good receiver, though.
But it
That
was
was his first touchdown
But it was a
of
back
the
and forth.
season.
But let's give them some credit. It was a back and forth war of attrition up till this moment, when the Patriots realized they were playing football and decided to just let's blow them out.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's-
okay, let's start now.
And then the game went exactly how we all thought it
Yeah,
would.
yep.
How we all thought it would go, which is just the Patriots just wrecked them.
So you're telling me nobody at this point thought, oh, wow, Titans first score. Are we
Nope.
thinking maybe this could happen?
Not even a little
Okay,
bit.
I did. I was stupid, and I was sitting at the bar, and I was like, oh, that was a beautiful pass. You know what? Could they?
Now,
Could they?
I don't have the Nielsen
No.
ratings in front of me, but let's be real. How many people were watching this game versus other games?
Oh, I can tell you. So I was at Burge in Hollywood, the
Okay.
sports bar, right? Turns off this game to put on Ocean's 11.
Ha!
9 minutes before halftime.
Yep.
It wasn't even like the
Yeah, 'cause
final
what's the
minute of the
point?
game. But
It
there
was
was other
already
TVs
21-7.
that kept it on, so I'll give them credit. But I was like, why do we need to even put Ocean's 11 on right now
It's
on
more
Bravo?
interesting than this football
Like
game.
that, I
It's-
guess somebody requested we turn this game
There's
off.
a back and forth. Terry Benedict might win in Ocean's 11. The Patriots would go like.
There's more competition in
There's
the
more-
Ocean's 11.
I blame the Chiefs for this, though. This is the Chiefs' fault. That would have been a far more competitive football. Not that they would have won. It would have been, they beat them in the beginning
It
of
would
the
have been
season.
intriguing, yeah, because they beat the Patriots in Foxborough,
Yeah.
so they showed they can do it, and who knows what I mean, playoff
This
football.
is the Chiefs' fault. I don't blame
So
the
Andy
Patriots.
Reid,
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
Yeah,
I don't
Pretty
blame
much
the-
is what we're saying.
You can't blame the Titans. The Titans.
No, they can't.
Titans tried to win
They
last
showed
week.
up.
How dare they?
I feel like the Titans, once the Pats got rolling, the Titans defense just said, oh, we're not equipped to handle this.
Exactly.
Like, nope, this is not going to
Now-
happen. Couldn't stop Deion Lewis, balled out, Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns, 337 yards. Like, they were not,
I
this
don't
was
see
not
the
good for
Chiefs
them.
as a team that would have had that just like mystique of the Patriots.
Yeah.
One, because they beat them in the beginning of the season, but also I think they've seen them enough to not feel that way. It's a veteran team. The Titans, I think, fall into the
They weren't
category
ready.
of, oh my God, how are we here?
And you could make the case. I mean, the way the Patriots came out this week, I mean, they came out a little flat, and it took the Titans all first quarter to actually take the lead. I mean, if you come out flat against the Chiefs, maybe, if Kelsey's healthy, if Hunt's having a good game, instead of being down 7-0, you're down 14-3,
Right.
17-3,
Yeah, like-
something like that. So, I mean, it could have been a game. I don't think they would have won, but it definitely would have been a more interesting game.
Can we point out how easy it's been for the Patriots this year?
Okay, Eagles.
No,
They've
that's
had a
not
very
even,
easy schedule.
No, we've also had an easy schedule, but
lost
we're
their
not the
quarterback.
and we're not
I
the
know.
Patriots. The New England, when was the last time from this moment they've truly been challenged?
Or not make the postseason.
Like, you mean-
I can't remember.
During
Oh,
the
I'm sorry, of this season.
Steeler game.
Steeler
yeah.
game,
Which they
Texans
should have
game,
lost.
Yes.
Texans
Which they
game with
should
Deshaun
have
Yes.
Watson. That was
They
a
did
great
lose to the
game.
the
They've
Panthers.
lost a couple
Yeah.
times.
Oh, yeah,
Apparently,
I'm-
Jay Cutler was a really hard
But honestly, their
know,
road to the
it's
Super
been
Bowl,
tough,
like, and this is not
been a
this.
tough road.
No disrespect to the Jaguars, because I think the Jaguars' defense is probably the best defense in the league outside of the Vikings. You could make a case, but the road to the Super Bowl for the Patriots are the Titans and Jaguars.
And at this point, Nick Foles or Case Keenum.
Let's go, Jaguars.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. And speaking of Jaguars, we got to get to this
Yes.
Jacksonville
Yes.
Pittsburgh game because this was phenomenal.
What a game.
45-42.
What a game.
What? Like, did you ever think that the Jaguars are going to put up that amount of points? I was shocked by that. by
I think
their
I'm more
offense.
shocked that they gave up 42 points. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
Jaguars' defense, I mean, their defense is phenomenal.
But like we were saying before, I feel like their defense did everything nearly perfect.
Right.
Ben was just
That offense
crazy.
is elite. That's an
Yes.
incredible offense. It'll be so disappointing if this era of the Steelers never won a Super Bowl, because
Right.
that offense is unbelievable.
I mean, if the defense like even bothered driving to the stadium, I mean, this outcome would have been different. I mean, Ben was a little sloppy in the beginning.
Yeah.
He had that fumble that got returned for a touchdown. So
And- yeah.
not everything's on the defense. I mean, there's 6-7 points given to Jacksonville, and then Ben had an interception in Steeler
Miles Jack
territory. So I mean,
interception.
some of it was Ben being sloppy, but at the same time, it's like, if you put up 42 points against the Jaguars, like, you're thinking, okay, Steelers win 42-7. Blake Bortles has 6 picks.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's just a weird day.
But
This is a weird day.
yeah.
Weird day.
Also, guys, for those of you who watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. We're in the bad place. The Jacksonville Jaguars are in the AFC Championship game.
is that a strange?
We're in the
thing to
bad
say?
place.
That's
It's a
bad
reference to a
place,
show.
right?
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Okay.
I don't watch the show.
People who know,
Without the
people who
cross
know the
guard.
show.
If you're in the
Leave it
chat,
alone.
does
Yeah.
the chat know the show? Chat, do you know the show?
Is this like a
What's
secret?
Jackson?
More conspiracy you have.
Sorry,
Steven doesn't
I
know.
don't. It's
We could just
spoilery.
let's
I don't
brush
want to
over
do.
it. Let's
But
brush over
while-
it.
brush
It
over it.
happened. Let's
Okay,
move on.
okay.
Those who catch the
Let's
reference,
move
While
catch the
we're on
reference.
the subject of Ben Roethlisberger, we do have what we talked about before, the highlight of his lateral backwards pass to Le'Veon Bell, one of his incredible touchdown passes
Yeah.
of this game, or just, these are just so, insane.
The thing about this is like sometimes I wonder why this doesn't
Wait, I
happen
love
more
that he's
often.
like he runs and he knows he does not want to run. I don't know
quarterbacks
who that
probably
was
aren't
in the
capable.
But
secondary.
not even just like a quarterback from a quarterback perspective, just from a football perspective
Like
in
run this
general.
play.
Like okay, so I played flag football in college. I know it sounds kind of crazy. Like I was an athlete who played flag football. Well, we used to
At least
travel.
you're honest about it.
We used to
Let's call
travel.
DeAnjilo Williams to see how he feels about that. Did
like-
you see him go off anyway?
Yeah. And there were teams whose offense was literally to just keep lateraling and
Right.
do plays like that. And now I'm not saying that there should be a whole offense dedicated to that. I'm just surprised we don't see that play more often.
Like you
Well,
can
that could
do
go
it. I guess
wrong in
it's is
so
it
many
considered
ways.
not not
that could go wrong in a
quality
lot of ways.
offense?
But you can draw it up. I mean, you can like that play
That
looks
wasn't
like
drawn up.
It wasn't drawn up, but you can draw that up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I get
all
you.
right,
Yeah.
Le'Veon, stay behind the line of scrimmage. Ben's gonna run it, and I mean, I'm not saying to do it. I'm
Yes,
not saying I want to
I
see
get
it
you.
implemented.
And
I'm
we
just
have,
surprised we don't see it more often. That's all.
Savage Saxonville Twitter account posting this after
Best Twitter account. in the NFL all year. They've killed it.
Mike Mitchell was interviewed, talked about basically looking past the Jaguars. So how are you going to feel if this is a Steelers-Pats AFC Championship rematch? And he's giving an interview, a quote on that. So now that this game is over and Jacksonville won, Saxonville comes out. You can play them on Madden all offseason if you want.
They've been killing it all year on Twitter
Oh, that-
in Jacksonville.
I don't know if there's an award for it, but they might win the award for best NFL Twitter. Like best of all the 32 teams, they might
Yeah.
win the award for best Twitter account.
Yeah.
'Cause
They've
they
really
get it.
enjoyed the
Twitter
success.
football.
Yeah, they've been good.
Amazing. But you were saying Ben doesn't like to run, and I'm thinking Blake Bortles loves to run. I feel like that dude is smiling ear to ear under his helmet every time he gets to run.
Yeah, because there's no way he can throw a pick in that situation. All I have
Like,
to
he
do is
relies
not
so
fumble
much
the
on his
ball.
run game.
Yeah.
But Blake Bortles, BBB, no more big baller brand, big boy Blake, coming in clutch today.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Well,
just throwing ideas out there, you know?
I like it.
He started off well. He did. I mean, he didn't really do much in.
He didn't blow it. It's another
Yeah.
Nick. Actually, I'll give him more points than Nick Foles, but he did. He
made
didn't
plays when
blow
he had
the
to make
game.
plays. Yeah.
And he threw
In the
that ball
beginning,
down the field.
their
That was a
first-
beautiful ball.
The
Yeah.
first drive
Yeah.
he came out like hot. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, shout out to Blake Bortles.
The Jaguars had a lot of confidence. I mean, they beat them at the beginning of the season, but
Hashtag
So-
things I never thought I'd say.
Well, I mean, the Patriots' defense has kind of been a topic of being on decline. So how do you think Bortles will play in the game coming up?
I mean, I just think that's going to be the same game plan as always. I'm surprised they came out throwing the ball today. I think they're going to run the ball for net and try to control the clock, try to limit the amount of possessions that Brady gets. You don't want Brady getting the ball that often, so they're going to run the ball, take time off the clock.
Yeah.
It just depends whether or not they can run on the Patriots. I think they're going to be able to. I don't know how successful they're going to be, but they're going to try to shorten the game and win that game on defense. If they win that game, it's going to be like a 17-13 type game.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, I hope they do.
They have
Could you
to-
imagine if Jacksonville beats the Pats in the AFC
my
Championship?
God.
The
I can
defense is
see
going to
it.
have to.
No,
If
I
they
can see
win,
it.
the defense will have. They're
But-
not going to be allowed to allow
Right.
42 points or anything
I
like
agree.
that again.
Yeah.
That's the one time. I think it'll be something. They scored 10 points against the Bills, 45. It'll be a lot closer to 10 than 45
Yeah.
against the Patriots, and they're just going to have to swarm Tom Brady. They're going to have to give him so much pressure.
And
And
they
if
can.
we're
Yeah, and they
talking
can.
about elite offenses, like
Right.
Jacksonville defense doing everything right today, but still going up such a good offense. I mean, the Patriots offense is just
But
is up
also-
there
But as an
too.
answer for Gronk, unlike most teams, they have a lot of big corners that can and
Physical.
Right.
Jacksonville's
Yeah.
defense
But-
is so physical.
But the difference, the thing is, they struggled against the Steelers today. But the difference between the Steelers and the Patriots is that Ben can make plays on his feet, so he can
Exactly.
avoid the rush and he can throw off, whatever it is. Brady can't do that. So Brady's going to be in the pocket. There's going to be a lot of outs and things like that. If they can get to Brady, it's going to cause problems. I actually think that defense matches up better with the Patriots offense than they do with the Steelers offense because Ben can make plays. Brady can't do that. He can't make plays with his feet.
They got to figure out what to do with Deion Lewis and James White.
Yes.
I mean, especially catching the
that's-
ball out of the
it's gonna-
backfield.
it's gonna be a lot of-
That's
Has to
gonna be
figure out.
the Jaguars.
Okay,
defense.
yeah, I
a
was
lot
going
of
to say
what you
because they
saw-
played
yes,
phenomenal
exactly what you
on
just-
Saturday
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
the both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot we saw in the Super Bowl. James White had 3 touchdowns. They're going to do that a lot.
That's gonna be a
It's going to be a
problem.
lot of like outs. To Hogan's back now. I think Brandon Cooks is going to play a little bit of a role there, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. If they can get to Brady, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars can win that game. I really do.
To your point.
Honestly, I think that they could too.
To your point,
But-
Race Fan Rocks 4 in the chat, Coughlin is 2-0 against Brady in the playoffs.
Yes,
So
Coughlin,
is it Coughlin or
our
is it
Giants
Eli? Who is it?
fan.
We'll find out.
Yes.
We're gonna
It's
find
the
out.
Coughlin system. I saw a
Well,
tweet that
technically
during this
postseason, but
game,
yeah.
I think when the Jaguars were up 21-0, a tweet was out, somebody was in the press box with Coughlin, and they said, you think Coughlin would be feeling good right now, being positive, but nothing but like analyzing every single thing his team is doing.
Tom
like
Coughlin?
that
What
is
are you
not
talking
like he
about?
is not happy
he's
with
not-
that. He is not satisfied with a 21-0 lead against the Steelers.
He's not coaching though. Coughlin's not coaching.
Yeah,
he's a
true.
part of the organization, but he's not
Yeah.
coaching. So I mean, I get what you're saying.
But it's a
But if they
system.
beat the Patriots, he'll be 3-0.
Yeah, but if they don't,
If they don't, then
no one talks
Yeah,
about
the
it.
whole thing is
He's
the
not
Kaufmann
Exactly.
back against the Patriots situation.
Yeah,
But
I don't
that's
know.
like I was shocked that this wasn't a blowout beyond the second half.
Yeah,
Or sorry,
Really?
beyond halftime. Like I was genuinely like
You thought that
I thought
the
Jacksonville
Jags
just
were
had
still
it.
gonna
There was
keep
no
going.
doubt in my
Jacksonville
mind
just had the
Pittsburgh was
number.
coming back.
really.
Yeah,
if it wasn't
no
for
doubt
the
in my mind.
Martavis touchdown before half, I think it would have been a blowout. 'Cause
Yeah.
You cut the lead 21-14, and then you get the ball back to start the second half.
Well, and the type
Yeah.
of throws that Ben was making to
Yeah.
bring in those plays, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And then Antonio Brown was Antonio Brown. I mean, they did it. They pulled everything.
Le'Veon Bell,
out of the
everything.
bag
They threw their
on
best
offense.
Bell
punch
is
to
receiver.
make up for that
The
trash
offense,
first half.
yes.
Yeah.
The offense did it.
Yeah.
Just the defense just.
They could, and that's why the only reason I don't condemn Mike Tomlin, their defense gave no sign of being able to stop anything.
Couldn't
so
stop the
I
run at
understand
all.
why
When
they
you-
did
when
the
you
onside
can't
kick.
stop- Blake
Yeldon, Fournette,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, I understand the onside kick, but I still would have kicked it down the field.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the onside kick.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I would not have done it, but I understand the standpoint of like my defense has done nothing. But in that scenario, they did actually stop them. It was just like, they're so close to getting a field goal in that scenario. So imagine if you gave them that opportunity down the field.
Remind me again, it was 2:18 with 2 timeouts.
Yes.
Then
And they were down by
timeouts
1
left.
score. So the argument was you could pin them back, get a
Yeah.
3 and out, and
Yeah.
and burn both timeouts.
Right.
I don't know. I like.
If that goes
Here-
well, though,
here's
you
the
know he's
thing.
going to be praised forever.
Exactly.
But it didn't work out, so it's just a twofold, you
All
know?
right,
And that's sports.
Here's the
It's
thing.
sports.
That's sports.
Hashtag sports.
The onside kick was horrible.
Oh, it was a horrible
If it was just an attempt at if it got past the line and let's just say they still didn't recover,
Yeah.
even if they still stop them, they're not in field goal range. They're gonna have to punt anyway. I think that's what Mike Tomlin was thinking. But the kick was so
It was so bad.
Yeah.
that it gave him better position than Mike Tomlin anticipated. Personally, I think if you have a chance to stop the clock 3 times, you got to kick it away.
You got that many timeouts, kick the ball down the
I
field.
mean, I'm not going to kill Tomlin for it because I understand like what you just said. We didn't stop anybody all day.
Yeah.
I got to get the ball back.
And he said that. So.
Yeah.
So as bizarre as this 50, or I'm sorry, whoa, almost 45-42 score is, did you guys see that Calais Campbell predicted this exact score?
Yeah.
Get out of
In
here.
a
Yeah, he did.
post-game interview last week.
Semi though. He was like, I don't know. It is miraculous, but he was like, I don't care if it's 0-2 or 45-2.
Or no, 45-42. He
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
it could
Yeah,
be
he
as
said
long
that,
as we
yeah.
win, even if it's a 45-42 score. But who just pulls that
Yeah, I mean, it's a
score out of their pocket?
It happens.
And
Yeah.
also, that meant you were saying like you were going to put up 45 points and then
points.
also allow 42 points
points.
being on defense. You know, that's just like such a random number.
Yeah, it was funny.
But everybody, conspiracy. I'm all about the conspiracies.
You're really
But that's
into it
another
today.
staple. Yeah, one of my favorite parts about Jacksonville winning this is we get more of Jalen Ramsey. Just more of his play, more of his persona. God, his attitude and his sass I love it.
If there's any benefit from this, is they're not scared to talk, and I love
Yes,
that.
I
That's
love
good
it
for
so
sports.
much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so-
Well, and I do love that too. That it's also they're 2 games further than, let's be honest, they ever thought they'd be.
yeah.
Beginning of the season, no one predicted this.
No.
Yeah.
No, people
mean,
were
from
sleeping
From the
on
standpoint
them.
of the Jaguars, I truly
In the
believe they
AFC
were gonna beat the
South, I
Steelers.
mean,
Last
Did you
year,
think that they were
not
gonna-
this season, but last season there was a lot of hype behind them, and they didn't
Oh, that's
deliver.
true. Yeah.
And then it kind of took off the hype from this year. I mean, the thing with the Jaguars, it's always been they were good defensively.
Yeah.
They just turned into top 2 defensive team this year, and then on top of that, Bortles didn't turn the ball over.
well, now they
Right.
have their
Yeah.
man,
as much.
Mr. Big Blake.
I still don't know if Bortles
Big
is
boy
their
Blake.
man, but-
Well, we're gonna write it right
Well,
now.
Leonard
We'll see how it
Fournette,
goes.
yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be their run
it was
game,
worth
but-
it.
if the Jaguars had a quarterback, they'd be.
If they had Eli.
I mean, can we really trash Blake though? He's been playing well. I mean,
No, he hasn't
good
lost
enough.
the game.
He's been playing good.
Like I don't like.
He
This,
made plays today though.
We've
He
had
did.
this conversation agnostic, but we are so focused on quarterbacks so much. That's why we like the Saints and like myself included. But these teams that are left outside of the Patriots have not won because of their
Right.
quarterbacks.
I mean, we saw. So it's Brady, but then it's also Keenum, Foles, Bortles. You know,
Yeah,
it's all
it's
of
a
like
team.
random quarterbacks,
Yeah.
to say the
So-
least,
Yeah,
making it to
Let
the
this be a lesson,
postseason.
Washington Redskins or any other organization. Maybe you should focus
let's
on everything
not.
else except the quarterback.
Let's not. Okay.
Well, but like a quarterback like Tom Brady obviously has star power, but the other 3 teams involved don't have a star.
And you
at
don't need
quarterback.
to be able to
Yeah,
win a
you
Super
can
Bowl,
win.
maybe.
Well, if you have Carson Wentz midway, he can get
I
you
mean,
there.
okay.
All right. Well,
Or
the
just-
conference championship games are set. The stages are set, and I'm so pumped. Let's get. I feel like we kind of got the vibe of where everybody's leaning to. But let's get our verbal confirmation of our predictions. So let's start off with Jacksonville going to New England.
I still haven't decided. So you guys.
Oh, we're going first, and then you're deciding off of our picks.
Okay,
or you're
fine.
just-
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Jacksonville. I think they're gonna get to Brady. I think Brady's. Listen, every time you see Brady struggle, it's when they get to him. When the Giants won the 2 Super Bowls, the pass rush they got to him. And that's when Brady struggles. He's old. He cannot move. This Patriots team is not as good as previous Patriots teams. I don't think Blake Bortles is gonna turn the ball over that much. I think they're going to control the game with the run game. I think Leonard Fournette's going to have a decent game. I look to be very low scoring. I'm going to say Jaguars
you
beat the
got Jacksonville.
Patriots.
We got it. Steve.
I think the Jags. 20.
Everybody pick up your book from Josh why Jacksonville is going to win at Barnes & Noble next week.
Because he's still trying to convince himself.
I know.
That's why.
I want to know
20 to
Steve has.
17. 20 to 17.
I'm gonna send you some links over. I'm gonna send you some links to the best possible bet you can make if you honestly think it's gonna be Jacksonville.
Thank you.
You can't go
All
against
of it. Steve Sports Books over there.
You can't go against the New England Patriots here. They're the New England Patriots
Stop it.
in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
Patriots.
Okay,
I
Patriots.
think they're because on the show today, mostly everyone picked the Jaguars.
Really?
Everyone's picking with their heart. And
Yeah,
not with logic.
you're right.
Yeah, because
I
everyone.
just gave you.
yeah.
I just gave you a dose of logic.
I know, and I want.
Did you
I
listen
want
to
be
his
with
seminar?
you guys. I want to pick the Jaguars so bad.
Oh, I want to see the Jaguars
Yes,
win.
I want
No.
to, but like I can't allow other teams to break my heart other than the Washington Redskins. So I'm going with the obvious pick, the Patriots.
You can't root. I'm sorry. Whoa. You can't bet against the Pats. You just can't do it. But you know what? I'm not betting, so I'm going to take Jacksonville because I want them to win.
I hope they don't win.
And maybe they can. Scored 45 points today.
Let's be very clear. Let's be very
I guess
clear.
you're a Pats fan.
I would love nothing more
Everybody
than
would.
an Eagles Jaguars Super Bowl.
Okay, well, we
one of
didn't
those
get
things
to
is
that
true.
one yet, all right? So now let's get to
Now-
it. Really quickly, because we're wrapping. That's our, okay, wrap it up.
Well-
Vikings, Eagles.
I got the Vikings in this one. I just think they're better defensively. I think they're going to put up enough points. Another low-scoring game. I'm going to say 21-13.
I think it's pretty obvious that I have the Eagles in this one.
Yeah.
But hear me out.
Okay.
The Saints, as you mentioned,
Okay, you have 5
were
seconds.
a way more destructive force for us to face here. The Vikings, we knew it would be the Vikings. We've been training for the Vikings for 10 weeks. We're going to be the most prepared we can possibly be for the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's going to be close. I think we can pull it out.
I hope you're wrong, but you have points.
Well, yeah, everything in my heart doesn't want the Eagles to win. I think it's whichever defense decides the ball out the most. And if I had to pick between quarterbacks, I'm picking Case Keenum, so I'm going with the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. This Cowboys fan is taking the Eagles. But
You are
I'm not going to
no
say
longer
why.
allowed in the studio.
I'm not going to say why.
You can leave.
Okay, I'm just taking the Eagles.
You
And I
can
hope
leave.
you sense what I'm saying. I can't say it out loud because that would be jinxing it. But I'm taking the Eagles.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
We all
You
have
pick,
different
you
Super
pick up
Bowls
what I'm
then.
putting down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We each
Josh
have
doesn't
different.
get it.
I'm sorry. I lost. I'm sorry.
But I'm taking the Eagles.
Yes.
But
I got you.
Anywho, I just ruined it. That was just worth. That was
You
so
just
cringeworthy.
said it like 7 times.
Yeah, you made it clear.
Whatever. All right.
That was so cringeworthy.
Cool.
All right, well, to say the least, we are very excited. We will be here next Sunday for the AFC NFC Conference Championship game recaps. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody in the live chat.
Yo,
Thank you. We appreciate
boom.
you. Love your comments. Leave them on the YouTube video as well. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere and my lovely panel.
I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_ if you're interested in more of these seminars about why I think the Vikings and Jaguars are going to win next week. Also, stay tuned. We're going to have an NBA weekly show coming to AfterBuzz, so
Nice.
more sports stuff.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. Also, #FlyEaglesFly.
And I'm DeAnjilo. You can hit me up on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV or on Instagram at DeAnjilo Blake Bortles for president.
BBB.
President.
Yes.
Hey, why not?
Sure.
Blake Bortles 2020.
Maybe less missiles will come my way. Okay.
From executive
Bye.
producer Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.